Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Quality QuaranTIME. My name is Alex Vander Johnson. Today, I'm going to be talking to Kat Nardizzi. Kat and I, again, went to high school together. We were in theater. She is currently an actress in New York. There's so much I want to talk to her about. It's been forever since we've caught up. She's been very open online about her relationships. She's been through a lot. She's been in abusive relationships. She's currently in a polyamorous relationship, and so I really wanted to talk to her about that, ask more questions, and we were super close in high school, so I just want to follow up and see what's going on. So here we go. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I had no idea how great it would be to see your face in real life.
It's been so long.
So long. So long. I'm loving the pink hair.
Thank you.
Is this a quarantine creation?
It sure is.
Didn't you also get a tattoo?
I got a very big tattoo.
Ooh, look at her. Wow.
It's not done yet, but...
Do you have a high pain tolerance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I
and
feel like
this is like my 6th tattoo.
Oh
so.
my god. I feel like I'd be like fully sobbing. Oh wait, what's that one?
This is a bat.
Nice.
Flower.
Nice. Amazing.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask the stereotypical question and be like, what do each of them mean?
I mean, honestly, I would give you a boring answer because some of them were just, I thought it looked cool and I liked it. So,
which is a totally valid reason to get a tattoo.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Can I see your place at all? Can you show me around?
Yeah, so this isn't my place. It's my boyfriend's place, but
Okay.
I live next door.
Oh, amazing. Did that happen before? Did you start dating before that happened, or did that happen and then you started dating?
Honestly, we were living together in this apartment, and then we broke up for a period of time, not very long, and I moved out, and I happened to move next door.
You were like, I'm mad at you and I'm leaving and I'm never gonna see you. And then you moved next door.
My best friend lives in the building next door, and they had an Brew open, and I was like, yep, moving there. So
amazing.
That's where I live, but in quarantine I've been primarily staying here just for convenience and sharing food.
Okay, cool. Yes, which is
I'll give you a little
a
tour of the living room because my boyfriend is asleep.
Oh, sure.
This is the living room.
Okay, cool. And his show, Be More Chill.
Yes, he was in Be More Chill.
It's on Broadway. It was on Broadway?
Mm-hmm. This is the original Two River Theater production from their album, and then they were off Broadway, and then they're on Broadway for like 4 months.
Oh my god, Kat. That's so amazing.
Yeah. So that's the only thing on the wall. That was at a Barnes and Noble, and he got to take it home, and I don't know.
Oh, cool. I thought I saw a guitar.
Actually, there are guitars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah, this is it. It's a 1-bedroom, so this is the living room, and, like, there's actually a pretty nice kitchen in here.
Wow. Look at all that alcohol. My God.
I mean, I have become a true bartender in quarantine, let me tell you.
Oh my gosh. Teach me your
Cocktails
ways.
Cocktails only for this lady.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. I was sort of reminiscing before this about how I used to drive over to your house and basically just stay until like 2 or 3 a.m. learning chemistry from you.
What?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yes. This was when we had chemistry together. I want to say that was junior year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for people watching at home, you're a twin and you were raised by a single mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was.
What did you learn? And so Susan, a legend, an icon,
Love her.
Forever We Stand. What is it that you learned from Susan? And what was it like growing up with a single mom? Was that tough at all?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. Like, my dad was, like, not in my life, but he was pretty removed from our lives from the time my parents got divorced. and my mom did get full custody of us. So, you know, my mom's always been like a really strong individual, a strong woman. She's always been like a woman succeeding in a man's world, so to speak. She's in advertising. She's always been very high up in the chain, like senior vice president of marketing.
Wow.
So way up there, and always like just surrounded by men, answering to men, working with men, used to that. And she's also like, because it's marketing and because the economy goes up and down and all around, you know, she unfortunately has lost her job a few different times. Not her fault.
Right.
And she's just like gotten another job. Like, we moved a lot because of that, but you know, she just kept going.
Wow.
And I'm so admire her for that.
Was she?
I definitely don't think I would be where I am today, like living in New York and like moving here by myself, if I didn't like see that it was okay and possible for me to want things and like to just go after them. You know?
Wow. I love that. Was she okay with you going into something like acting, or did she ever want you to go into something like more 9 to 5, suitable, like, or not suitable, stable, you know,
sure,
reliable?
Yeah. My mom has always been a very, very supportive person of whatever I want to do, and has always been like, you have a dream, like, go get it, do it. Like, you want to go to this school, go there, we'll figure it out. Which I love. But like, there is a part of her that has been like, why don't you just work in an office?
Right.
I did for a year. I worked in a startup, and I was an executive assistant, and I had that salary and the health insurance.
Right.
And it was terrible. I hated it.
Yeah. Well, and girl, you are like, it's so funny to hear you talk. It's so funny to hear you talk about this, because like my dad's also in business, and so I have a very similar conversation with him, where it's like supportive, but you know, you could do. You're rehearsing for something now. What are you rehearsing for?
Yeah. So I last week I did. It's so funny. Like, we're in a quarantine, and everything's happening over Zoom. And I've like gotten more like jobs than I have in a minute.
Wow!
Last week I got asked to do a reading of a new musical that my friend wrote, which was really fun.
Oh my gosh!
And we didn't sing though, so that was interesting. It's obviously weird to sing on Zoom, but we spoke all the lyrics. It was mostly for like the people creating it and still working on it to continue to develop it.
Right.
And then this week I'm doing a reading of a play that a dear friend and director, writer of mine wrote. It's an adoption piece, and we're going to be reading it for like a happy hour at a bunch of people who are like, I don't actually know the organization or anything, but it's like people who have been adopted, who are adoptees, and just to like start a conversation. So
cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's this is just, you know, it's like whenever I make dates for these conversations, it's like I forget how fulfilling they are when I actually like have them. It's so cool to see you like doing what you have always loved and always dreamed about.
Yeah.
There's so many different things I want to talk to you about. One of the things that you've been open about on social media is being in a polyamorous relationship. Am I saying that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean, first of all?
So I am currently in an open relationship, is what I would call it. I wouldn't call it polyamorous necessarily, but I guess it could be, based on like our agreed upon terms.
Okay.
Polyamorous is like multiple relationships. Mm-hmm. Typically, polyamory is centered around like, I want to say more serious relationships, like more than one.
Yeah.
But the way you organize your relationships is totally up to you and your partners, and you can have what people call a primary partner and a secondary partner. You can be in like triads, which is something I'm involved in multiple times in previous years. Yeah, so like that was like 2-3 people all dating each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does that happen? Like,
it happens lots of ways.
Or how did it happen for you? What I actually care about.
So I was in a relationship with a man, and before I was in a relationship with him, I guess it's important to say, I had like started to explore polyamory or open relationships with my previous partner, dipped my toe in the pond, and then once I started dating this other person, we kind of fleshed that out and started trying to date people together. So we actually were already dating and were looking for partners to date together.
Right.
Which, I don't know, it's weird. We met both of our partners that we dated at different times on Instagram and Facebook. So.
Oh, okay. You found them through Facebook and Instagram?
Honestly, like our first girlfriend, my ex found through another friend of his. Like we got connected, and then we just like hung out with her and like they hit it off. And then the other, like, he had a crush on our ex and just slid in her DMs. And then we, again, all connected and it worked out. So. Yeah.
When it's just the two of you, you are actively looking for a third.
In that relationship we were.
In that relationship you were. But sometimes is it like you and your boyfriend are just out and then you both connect with someone really well and then you're like, hey, I clicked with this girl. Am I
like at the same bar or
no, just basically trading notes and being like, hey, did you feel the same connection that I did to this girl? Should we invite her in?
Yes, or like one person starts a conversation, like, and then introduces like the other person into the conversation if it goes there. But like, I don't know, there are other ways we met people too, like specific apps that aren't just the regular dating apps where it's more like an open like invitation, like you're like actually asking to meet a third person for either just a date or something more. But yeah, I don't know. But, like, also, like, our agreement, too, even in our three-person relationship, we were allowed to be with other people outside, not all together. So, like, then it gets extra sticky and weird and hard.
Yeah, how do you deal with all of the, like, insecurities and jealousy and, like...
Well...
And that sort of thing. I mean, I guess that's a very vague question, but if you can...
No, it's not. It's one that comes up a lot when talking about polyamory. I mean, ultimately, like, I'll say this. Don't open your relationship or don't look for a polyamorous relationship if A, you don't have a lot of time on your hands, and B, you're not willing to take a good hard look in the mirror and, like, really fucking look at what's there. Because ultimately, yes, insecurities come up probably more so than they do in just a two-person relationship.
Right.
Just because there just are more circumstances where, like, your needs, you have to be really clear about your needs and asking for what you need and asking if your partner can meet them. And ultimately, jealousy isn't a bad thing. It's an icky emotion that we don't like to feel, but it's ultimately just something showing you, like, hey, there are some needs that are not being met right now, and you need to figure out A, if you need to fill this need, B, you want your partner to fill this need, or C, like, there's something else just not being addressed. Like, maybe you're not taking great care of yourself, so you don't feel good about yourself. And so that's, like, bringing up these insecurities, right? So it's, like, a lot of, I would say, like, set aside a lot of time for self-reflection to really figure out what's going on there. Because it's really easy to project and be like, like throw up all your insecurities on someone else.
Right. Which is what I do daily anyway. So sounds relatable. And so you've mentioned a couple of times that you guys have an ex-girlfriend. So it was the three of you, and then one of you left, or did that one person say, "Hey, this isn't working for me. I gotta go," or was it like a group meeting? And you guys, like, talk about who should we vote out?
So both circumstances were interesting. Ultimately, the person who I entered a relationship into with was very abusive. So didn't work out for lots of reasons.
Of this past one.
The triad, yeah. The main person I was dating was a man. He was very abusive. We briefly dated a woman together, not very long, and then, like, a year later, started dating another woman for much longer.
Right.
And so the first To answer your question, the first person we dated, he and I both broke up with her. And then the next iteration, I left both of them.
Oh, wow.
Because it was very toxic and bad, and I needed to get out.
So for your current relationship, is it polyamorous or is it just open?
It's
is what you
open.
said.
Yeah, it's open in that he and I are both can have sexual interactions with other women only.
Oh, okay.
Separately or together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something we're like, I mean, we're in quarantine, so like,
right.
Anyone, but
yeah.
Ultimately, I think more than anything, I like being in an open relationship because not necessarily because I need to have sex with someone new all the time, but because I like connecting with people, and I like, and whatever that means. It doesn't have to even mean like anything happens. It could just be like I have an interesting conversation with someone at a bar,
right?
And that's all that it is. But like that, you know, my partner understands that it could mean lots of things, and it doesn't mean anything negative about our relationship.
Right.
It's separate.
Right.
So
I love that. And it feels like you're like, I mean, the same with any other relationship. It feels like you get closer and closer to what it is that you want through like trial and error.
Absolutely. I mean, with anything in life, the true way to know is if trying it and then deciding like, does this work or not? And if not, like, how can we adjust?
Was it scary when you first tried it? Were you like, I don't know if this is for me, or were you sort of like, this is exciting, I can't wait to do this? Or was it a mixture?
It's funny because when I first started doing it, it was my partner, different relationship from these other ones I mentioned, who asked to open our relationship because it's something he had done before. And I was like, unsure at first, but I did a lot of research. I read up on it, and ultimately, like, I'm just a person who likes to connect with people. So I was like, this is kind of exciting and cool. And then I was more excited about it and was like trying to meet all these people, and he was threatened.
Right.
So,
interesting.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny how that kind of works out. But yeah.
Cool. And but when you found it, you were like, this is who I am. This feels right to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always been kind of someone who, well, I don't know, I guess I've always felt like someone who has been needed to be more of like a free spirit, for lack of a better, less, cliche term. And I definitely, whenever someone's trying to control me or tell me what to do or hold me back, hold me down, or tell me, just like anything, I'm just like, no, get the fuck out. We're done. So I just, even, like I said, like, even just like letting me explore that, and it maybe doesn't even go anywhere. Just like, no, I can, just takes a lot of pressure off.
Yeah, because when I can see that when you're feeling locked down, it's like you feel cagey, and then it's like, then that ends the relationship because you feel cagey.
Well, and I even just want to go, I just want to be like, fuck you can't tell me what the fuck to do.
Right.
Now I'm going to go do what the fuck I want.
Now you've mentioned a couple of times that you were in a past abusive relationship. What was it? First of all, how did you realize it was an abusive relationship? And like, what has made you label it an abusive relationship as opposed to like a toxic relationship?
It took time to really come to terms with it, but I think I knew, I don't want to say early on, but I think there was a point that I definitely knew, like, this relationship wasn't good. It was definitely toxic, but just abusive in that there was a lot of gaslighting, a lot of lying, a lot of cheating. I mean, like, from the minute he met me, he lied to me. And as a person who was older than me, and someone I even worked with in a professional way, like, had power over me, like, lied to me and then proceeded to get me wasted so he could sleep with me.
Wow. Oh my God. Wow.
It took me years to really realize that in our first meeting, he was purposefully getting me drunk, because throughout the night he was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how drunk are you? And if the number was too low, he'd buy us shots.
Oh my God. Wow.
And then I was in a relationship for 3 years. Like, fuck me.
No, but the thing is that abusive relationships are really tough to get out of. And why I wanted to talk to you about this is that it is really hard to realize that you are in an abusive relationship. And when you're younger, you think, how could you possibly not realize you're in an abusive relationship? Like, can't you see what's going on? And so what were the things that, like, how did it become clear to you? Was it friends? Was it what were the messages that got through to you?
I think ultimately it was a lot of things. Like, I lost friends for sure. I mean, he isolated me on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But like, one of my very best friends from college, she stopped being my friend. Like, she couldn't be my friend. And that sucked, but like, I was like on his side, and I just kept justifying all this behavior that in my head, there were moments where I was like, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't match up. Like, but like, I loved him, or I thought I loved him. And he was very mentally ill, or is very mentally ill. I really can't tell you because he's lied about so many things, so I don't really know what's true.
And it's not your job. It's not your job anymore to like die.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I justify a lot of that with the mental illness, so it just made it more confusing. And I mean, he is just like a master manipulator and liar, charmer. Like, he is a marketing genius. Like, he can get you to believe anything.
Yes.
So just imagine being like in a relationship with someone like that, who you could catch him in a fucking blatant lie, and he will just be like,
"Girl, I know the type. I know the type."
So it took a long time. I mean, ultimately, the straws that broke the camel's back were, even though our relationship was open, he still cheated on me, and I found out about a couple different people. But he slept with a good close friend of mine, who he then also lied to and said I knew when I didn't know that they were living together. And then she offhandedly mentioned something to me, like I knew, because she was told that, and I was like, okay. And that then led to, I made this connection with a woman outside of our relationship who was just awesome and a true person I was supposed to meet, who I had a connection with. I went on a few dates with her, and when I was hanging out with her, she just looked at me and was like, it doesn't seem like you're very happy with your like life, and like she's just being a mirror in like a really kind way. And I thought that was basically me being like, yeah, you're right, I need to get out of this. And ultimately, when I did, the day I was like, I need to go, he threatened to violence against me. He threatened to take my phone away. Like, I was like, yep, I need to go. Yeah. So thankfully, my brother lives in New York, and I got to just go crash on his couch for a few weeks. And
wow. Well, I was gonna. Thank God you've got your brother. Did you reach out to any other resources, or you just had like a good network?
I didn't reach out to any like actual like people who help abused people. The cops were called on multiple occasions when I was with him.
Wow.
I called them once because he was threatening his own life, and I was like, okay, well, I'm calling 911 then, because if that's real, you need to go to the hospital.
Oh my God.
He convinced the doctors he was okay, and they let him go. And he was lying, but like, he even can convince, you know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
But he was also called because he was like slamming things against the walls, and the neighbors were like, what's going on here? And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, but ultimately, it was my friends are the main people who helped me get through it, and my brother, frickin' Austin and Sally, they lived with my brother, and like they are my family. They are my family.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you guys have stayed so close, like, through all of this. What do you think is like the secret of that friend group? Like, what's the secret sauce there?
You know, I don't know. Like,
because it's been like nearly 20 years.
It's truly so weird that we all live here.
Yeah.
And that like we're all still like, we still have like group Zoom hangs now that we're in quarantine. We can't like actually hang out because so many people live in Brooklyn now. Brad only lives like 10 blocks away.
Wait, what did you just say? So many people live in what? Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
And so they can't join the Zoom call because they're in Brooklyn?
No. They're on the Zoom call. I'm saying like they used to live 2 blocks away.
Oh,
or
okay.
2 avenues away. They used to like everyone, like Brad's old apartment with Austin and Sally, where Zach used to live before that, and all these people.
Yeah.
Used to be right here, and now they all have migrated to Brooklyn. So even if I could travel to them, it would take an hour.
Right.
Like, which is a lot on the subway.
Got it. Okay, I got confused.
No.
I was like, whoa.
No. They're on the Zoom calls. It's great.
That's so funny. Well, Kat, this has been like, it's so crazy. I just feel like I have so much to like, I want to know more. I want to like dive in more. And like,
Yeah, well,
I didn't even ask you about your fitness journey. Is that like, is fitness and health, is that something you're also passionate about, or?
yeah, I'm definitely passionate about
Obviously.
fitness. But yeah, I mean, I used to have an eating disorder, and that's really where the fitness kind of came into play.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
obsessed with fitness, and then I got out of that. So now I'm like I would say, in a good, healthy place with it all, and I love it, but I'm not like I used to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's so good to, I mean, it's good to hear that you're in a better place with it. You were this way, and then you did the extreme, and it sounds like with everything, you are somebody who is like, I mean, that you've always been that way. You've always been like a go hard person. You go hard at something and you want it. And then you've figured out through experimentation that like, maybe it's somewhere in the middle. Not this. And then
you gotta try it, you know?
Yeah.
Don't knock until you try it. And then if you try it and it doesn't work, figure out something else.
Well, Kat, is there anything that you're obsessed with this week that is bringing you joy?
Honestly, I have started a Harry Potter book club with
Yes.
some of my high school friends, and we are on Chamber of Secrets.
Amazing.
We're gonna have our little chat on Sunday, and honestly, like, I haven't been into reading in a long time, and I feel bad about it. So I was like, let me just like pick up something I already know, love, and is easy to read, and it is such a joy in these times to go back to Harry Potter. So.
A good book is like a good friend, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. And it's Harry. I mean, like, mischief managed.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. Amazing. I love that. Well, Kat, thank you so much. It's so good to see you, like, happy and healthy. And I hope you stay safe. And let's catch up again soon.
Oh, absolutely. I love y'all. You're amazing. You inspire me all the fucking time.
Oh. Mwah. Bye. Oh, thanks for spending this quality quarantine with me. I always forget. I always forget the title. I always forget. Oh my God. Bye. I love you.
Bye. I love you too.
Thanks for tuning in to Quality QuaranTIME. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. See you next time.